If you're South Asian who's struggling to get in shape and you hate complicated diets and you just can't stick to a routine, I've got good news. Because if your favorite words are, I couldn't be bothered, I don't have the motivation to do it, in this video, I'm going to show you the exact lazy South Asian way that you can get in shape quickly and easily. I'm the only white guy that's recognized to work with over 2,500 South Asians and cracking the code and achieving incredible results with minimal effort whilst giving up your biryani. And in the link below, there's also 24 emails over a 24-day period that can showcase the results, case studies, and help you transform your body. Just click the link that's in the description. There was a period in my life where personal trainers would come up to me and say, Nathan, I can get people in shape, but you get people in shape who shouldn't be getting in shape and transforming them completely. So I think I'm pretty good at understanding behaviors and psychology and really tapping into getting people to doing the shit that they need to do, that they know is beneficial, but they don't want to do. Therefore, they get the result that they were expecting actually way too easy, not to fail. I'm going to show you in 3 examples of 3 super common areas that most people overcomplicate and they think they need to be militant soldiers to complete. So let me show you problem area number 1. I'm too lazy to go to the gym every day and haven't got enough time. Have you ever thought at some point there's got to be an upper limit to how much you can go to the gym and it not be counterproductive? Or think, what's the limit of the time I need to be at the gym for to see benefit? And also question, why does every trainer have a different opinion on the same thing? So this just leaves you confused, thinking that you haven't got enough time to go and get results. And especially if you haven't got enough time, you're going to feel like you tried and nothing's worked. So you assume that the more you go, the more you get. I mean, if that was the case, I'd be going twice a day to get all the crazy gains. And I just don't. But then you get super bummed out because when you can be consistent to go 5 days a week to work out, you get hit with that, I'm too lazy to do it, so I can't even be bothered going, because you can't go the 3 or 4 times that you can go. And then the game is over when you say I can't be bothered. So we look at what the minimum amount that you can train and still get great results, get stronger and build more muscle. But most people think the more you go, the better it is. But that's far from the truth. On the screen here, you're going to see an average of 12 sets per muscle group per week to grow new muscle tissue. So let's break that down. So you get really upset that you're not going to the gym all of the time. And because you haven't met the expectation of going 7 days a week or 5 days a week, you think, oh, well, why don't I just not bother? And the expectation doesn't meet the reality and you end up doing nothing and you hit that I can't be bothered mode. Now, the danger point for you is hitting that I can't be bothered rather than the amount of days that you go. The goal with our clients is to hit the minimum effective dose rather than the maximum times you could possibly go, which means that our clients are the most efficient, they get in shape, they build muscle tissue, they get stronger with the least amount of work in the gym, which is kind of important when you've got the rest of the life to go along with. So let's say you take those 12 sets per muscle group and we use the major muscle groups, the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes, the chest, the back, the arms, triceps, biceps, shoulders, and you take those and you spread that across a week, whether that's 3 days. I'm going to use 3 days for an example here. It's like you only need 4 sets of 10 reps of 7 different exercises 3 times a week, which would take you theoretically 49 minutes to complete, and you'd be able to grow new muscle tissue. And that's going to be super useful because then you don't need your 5 days, your 6 days, your 7 days if you can do that 49 minutes times by 3 every single week. And here's the beautiful thing, like if you wanted to maintain your muscle tissue, you would only need 2 sets of 10 repetitions across 7 different exercises, which is only going to estimate around about the 21-minute mark. So if the worst case scenario is you've only got 20 minutes to train, you can preserve your muscle tissue. So you can break down that 49 minutes or 21 minutes into however long you want to. You've got to see it as 147 minutes or 63 minutes for maintaining. So you can break that down into 4 mini sessions of 7, or you can break that down into 2 big sessions, but you don't need to buy into that myth that you need to go 5 days a week for 1.5 hours. You can just pick a simple routine like we do with our clients to get them in the gym for that 49 minutes 3 times a week, or that 50 minutes 2.5 times a week, whichever way it is that fits around your lifestyle to make you the most efficient to get the best results in the laziest way. So this is how we can build lazy training for the most effective way to do so. But even if you went to the gym all of the time after being lazy, the results might not come if you don't look after your nutrition and stay on top of your diet. And that brings up the second point that let lazy South Asians down. I'm too lazy to cook and prep for the next day. So I want to give you an example of Tejo, one of my clients who is a self-proclaimed lazy person who was too lazy to cook and too lazy to prep. So imagine driving your car on a road in the daytime and all of a sudden you decide to jump in the back seat and just try and drive the car. You're reaching over the car from not being able to reach the foot pedals and a complete uncontrollability of the car. You don't know be able to touch the brake point, you can't touch the accelerator. And that's what you're doing every single day with your diet when you're not planning in advance, when you're not making a plan. You're sitting in the wrong seat. You're not driving from the driver's seat and having full control of the car. You end up making your diet as you go along. You decide last minute when you're already hungry, you either eat way more or different to what you're intended, Or you just go for something that's quick and easy and not filling and nutritious, and you're hungry and eating snacks in less than 2 hours time, and you're wondering why your fat loss is stalling. Tejas, our client, who is a self-proclaimed lazy person, is the exact person I want to show here. Tejas would eat out quite a bit, order Uber Eats and have dinner at family members' houses. Always cooking and preparing just felt so much effort for only the few days of the week that she'd be cooking at home. But that was her downfall from her side. She'd make poor decisions, eat out 80% of the week because she didn't want to cook, and then she fell into the trap of allowing that to be the reason why she's gained so much weight. And something that made her diet habits harder to shift later was when she wanted to change her diet. You can't do that when you're not controlling your food intake. She thought meals from home would just take too long. The chopping, the cutting, the cooking, the cleaning, all wrapped up into one big effort just for one meal. Tejas has now dropped 12 kilos plus, which doesn't happen with lazy people if the plans are hard and have such high effort levels. So here's the exact strategy you can use, just like we did with Tejas, to drop weight instantly. So you want to do the double up method. If you make dinner, you just double the ingredients for the same cooking time, you're going to get double the amount of effort. You want to use a strategy called 3 in the freezer, 3 in the fridge. So if you want to save the ultimate time, you want to cook 6 days worth of food on a Sunday, and you want to put 3 of those in the fridge, lunch and dinner, and 3 of them in the freezer, which means you can make all 1 day's worth of food and have to do no washing and cooking and cleaning from a Monday to Friday perspective, and it's super, super easy. As well as that, you can use the 1 plate rule when other people are preparing the food. Now, if you're not cooking, you can use the 1 plate rule to portion out any food, anytime, any place, anywhere, with a simple portion control method, which is managing your calories without any additional effort. There's literally zero effort of portioning out the food on a little space on your plate versus having a big dollop of food of excess calories than you don't need. It makes it just so much easier to control your portion even when people are eating out. Another solution that we did with Tejas was turning her oven stove into an air fryer. A lot of people just use the slower ways of making the same meals because that's all they've known and that's all they've done. There's so many modern technologies that can help you make meals quicker and easier. The air fryer is a complete game changer. You can literally get 2 drawers of food and put different things in them. You can put meat and potato in one of them, and you can put veggies and tofu in the other one, for example. And you can do that for 1, 2, 3, or 4 different meals in one go. And literally, how could you fail if it became so easy? Not only that, but the cost of eating out right now in the US is absolutely crazy. I'm here right now in Florida, and it's so crazy that people are not prepping and saving money and saving effort by just using strategies like this. Making a food strategy so easy not to fail is so important to be able to do this on repeat, just like Tejas did to lose 12 kilos. But if you're not motivated enough to do anything, then how are you going to do any of these strategies? And that's problem number 3. I'm too unmotivated to take action. Most people get motivation wrong. They think it's the lighter fluid before you light the match to light the fire. There's only one time in your journey where motivation comes before action, and that's the first time you step on the scales that you don't like the number, the first time you see jeans that don't fit. That's the only time that motivation comes before action. Most people get it wrong because motivation is what happens after you put in effort, you get results, and motivation happens off the back of that to repeat the cycle over and over again. So the biggest mistake South Asians that are lazy, who are unmotivated, make is not that they're unmotivated. It's that they're waiting for something to happen that is never going to happen, so they never do anything about it. So if motivation is the end product, how do we focus on effort and progress? The easiest way to look at this is that you need metrics to track to measure your progress, and then you also need to apply effort because of the desire of the goal. Desire versus motivation is different. I desire an outcome that I really, really want. The motivation is to repeat the cycle when it's hard. That's distinguishing the difference between desire and motivation. And desire comes when you invest in a program, when you start a diet plan, when you see that the jeans don't fit anymore. That's the desire, a desire to not be as fat as I am right now. And then you apply effort and track the progress. The lazy South Asian needs to put in effort first before expecting to get kicked in the butt by motivation. And that's why diets for most South Asians only last 2 weeks. Because like I said, the only time motivation exists before you do effort is when your jeans don't fit, when you step on the scales, and people repeat that cycle. They hit the motivation from not fitting in the jeans, they start a diet for 2 weeks, but they wait for that thing that started 2 weeks ago to do the thing again to make them continue. It's like, no, bro, you're meant to be doing this because you don't want to be in the position you're in right now. You don't want to be fat, and that's going to affect you, your kids, your ability to have kids, your health, your outlook on life, your ability to find a partner, your professional status, the confidence that you have in yourself. That's why we're changing, not because I want motivation to do so. And actually, the people that say that they're waiting for motivation once they understand this and they still don't do it, They're people that just don't have strong goals. They don't have a strong consequence of something happening. And one of the largest things around motivation, or like the ability to continue that cycle, is you need consequences of something negative happening to repeat that cycle over a long enough period of time. So if you're a lazy South Asian waiting for motivation to kick you in the ass, do the opposite. Start putting effort in, tracking the progress with data like your body weight, how you're feeling, your mood, your digestion, your sleep, your outlook on life. Check to see if there's been progress within those areas, and then watch the motivation flourish so that you can then repeat that effort again. No one's going to do the hard work for you, not even motivation. So use it as a byproduct, not as the whole reason why you haven't started. If you've liked this video about how South Asians can get in shape even when they're lazy, just watch one of these videos above. It's results from our clients, and they just tell you a whole story of what it's like to come in with the coaching and make this too easy not to fail. Have a nice day.